तर्हिते भगवती ब्रह्मलोकापतामः प्रजा ससर्ज कथिता दहिखि मानसी विभु.
Shri Vidura said, O great sage, please let me know how Brahma, the grandfather of the planetary inhabitants, created the bodies of the living entities from his own body and mind after the disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
ये च मे भगवान् पृष्टास् त्वयर्ता बहुवित्तमा तन्वदास्वानुपूर्व्येन चिन्दिना सर्वसंशयान्.
Mataji, can you please scroll? O greatly learned one, kindly eradicate all my doubts and let me know of all that I have inquired from you from the beginning to the end.
सुत उवाच एवं सञ्चोदितस्तेन क्षत्रकौशरवीर्मुनि पृथप्रत्यहतान् प्रश्नान् हृदि स्थान् अथ भार्गव.
Mataji, can you please scroll? Thank you. Sutta Goswami said, O son of Bhrigu, the great sage Maitreya Muni, thus hearing from Vidura, felt very much enlivened. Everything was in his heart, and thus he began to reply to the questions one after another.
मैत्रेय उवाच विरिञ्चोऽपि तथा चक्रे दिव्यं वर्षशतं तपा आत्मन्यात्मानमां वेश यतः भगवान् अजा.
The greatly learned sage Maitreya said, O Vidura, Brahma thus engaged himself in penances for 100 celestial years, as advised by the personality of Godhead, and applied himself in devotional service to the Lord.
तद्विलोक्याब्जसम्भूतो वायुना यद् अधिष्ठितः पाद्ममाभाश्च तत्काले कृतवीर्येण कम्पितम्.
Thereafter, Brahma saw that both the lotus on which he was situated and the water on which the lotus was growing were trembling due to a strong, violent wind.
तपसा ह्येदमानेन विद्यया चात्मसंस्थया विवृधविज्ञानबालो नैपद्वायुं संभाषा.
Long penance and transcendental knowledge of self realization had matured Brahma in practical knowledge, and thus he drank the wind completely along with the water.
तद्विलोक्यावियद्व्यापी पुष्करं यद् अधिष्ठितम् अनेन लोकन् प्रज्ञानान् कल्पितं स्मृत्यचिन्तयात्.
Thereafter, he saw that the lotus on which he was situated was spread throughout the universe, and he contemplated how to create all the planets which were previously merged in that very same lotus.
पद्मकोशं तदाविश्य भगवत्कर्मचोदिता एकं व्यभांसि दुरुधा त्रिधा भाव्यं द्विसप्तधा.
Thus, engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Brahma entered into the world of the lotus. And as it spread all over the universe, he divided it into three divisions of worlds and later into 14 divisions.
एतवान् जीवलोकस्य संस्थभेदः समाहृतः धर्मस्य ह्यनिमित्तस्य विपाका परमेष्ठसौ.
Lord Brahma is the most exalted personality in the universe because of his causeless devotional service unto the Lord in mature transcendental knowledge. He therefore created all the 14 planetary divisions for inhabitation by the different types of living entities.
विदुर उवाच यथाथा बहुरूपस्य हरेरद्भुतकर्मणः कालख्यं संलक्षणं ब्रह्मन् यथा वर्णय न प्रभो.
Vidura inquired from Maitreya, O my lord, O greatly learned sage, kindly describe eternal time, which is another form of the Supreme Lord, the wonderful actor. What are the symptoms of that eternal time? Please describe them to us in detail.
मैत्रेय उवाच गुणव्यतिकराकारो निर्विशेषो प्रतिष्ठितः पुरुषस्तदुपादानम् आत्मानं लीलयासृजत्.
Maitreya said, eternal time is the primeval source of the interactions of the three modes of material nature. It is unchangeable and limitless, and it works as the instrument of the Supreme Personality of Godhead for his pastimes in the material creation.
विश्वं वै ब्रह्म तन्मात्रं संस्थितं विष्णुमायया ईश्वरेण परिच्छिन्नं कालेनाव्यक्तमूर्तिना.
This cosmic manifestation is separated from the Supreme Lord as material energy by means of Kala, which is the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Lord. It is situated as the objective manifestation of the Lord under the influence of the same material energy of Vishnu.
यथेदानीं तथाग्रे च पश्चादप्येतदीदृशम्.
This cosmic manifestation is as it is now. It was the same in the past and it will continue in the same way in the future.
सर्गो नवविधस्तस्य प्राकृतो वैकृतस्तु यः कालद्रव्यगुणैरस्य त्रिविधः प्रतिसङ्क्रमः.
There are 9 different kinds of creations beside the one which naturally occurs due to the interactions of the modes. There are 3 kinds of annihilation due to eternal time, the material elements and the quality of one's work.
आद्यस्तु महतः सर्गो गुणावेशम्यमात्मनः द्वितीयस्त्वहमो यत्र द्रव्यज्ञानक्रियोदयः.
Of the 9 creations, the first one is the creation of the Mahatattva, or the sum total of the material ingredients, wherein the modes interact due to the presence of the Supreme Lord. In the second, the false ego is generated, in which the material ingredients, material knowledge, and material activities arise.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Inakshi and Pavani, for the beautiful recitations, and also to Rita Mataji. Very nice recitation. Thank you so much. So, unfortunately, Mamta Mataji hasn't joined us as yet, our facilitator for this evening. So, while waiting for Mamta Mataji to join, I will recite the Mangla Acharan prayer. You can all join me behind muted mics. Let's put our hands together. Let's pray very sincerely to their lordships. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Sri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama
Rama
Rama.
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hmm.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all so much for joining Chad this evening. So I don't think Mamta Mataji has joined yet. I wonder if Jyoti Mataji could give her a call, please. Could you, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. So, dear devotees, while waiting for Mamta Mataji to join us, what we'll do is to read the purports and the passage, the verses for discussion this evening. So, Jyoti Mataji, could you share the verses for this evening, please? And we'll start reading. Thank you.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you. Mamta Mataji is joining us in 1 second. Thank you, Mataji.
Very good. Thank you so
I'll share
much.
the
Thank
verse.
you. Thank you. Okay, so any volunteers who'd like to
Hare Krishna
read?
Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to
Hare
Srila Prabhupada.
Krishna, Hare Krishna Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I've just finished reciting the Mangala Charan prayer,
Oh,
Mataji.
thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you.
So we can have some volunteers to read tonight's verses. Any
Yes, Mataji.
volunteers? And I'll hand you over to Mamta Mataji now. Thank you so much. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Just give me a minute. I'm just getting my computer up. Okay, we've done the prayers. Mataji, which verse are we doing?
So we are doing, let me just tell you, the verses that we are discussing today are
1 to 6, isn't it? Chapter 11.
1 to 5.
1 to 5, chapter 11.
Yes,
Mataji.
yes.
So
So
maybe
if Jyoti
Hare Krishna,
Mataji could
Mataji.
scroll down, please, to
14
verse
to
number.
17.
Oh, are we discussing verse 17?
14
no,
to
you said 1
17.
to 6, na Mataji. What did you say?
Oh, I was looking at the facilitators thing. And
14 to 17.
3.10, 14 to 17. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, Mataji gave me something else.
yeah, I was looking at the wrong date, unfortunately.
Okay, we'll just go by it, Mataji. It doesn't matter. Let's go by it.
Sorry about that.
Because I didn't even know anything about it. Anyway, so let me just, can we just wait for a minute, Mataji? This one is not connecting properly. I don't know what's wrong with it. So I'll have to just disconnect that and come back again. Why? Because I'm trying to go through my hotspot.
Yeah, you're right. I was looking at next week's date. Sorry about that. So it's 14 to 17. Any volunteers to read number
Mataji
14?
always challenges me every time. Every time you'll challenge me, but
My
Krishna.
sincere apologies.
No,
So,
Krishna's wish, Mataji. Let's go with it. It's all right.
I can read if you want.
yes, please go ahead.
Try to just get. So, what verses are we doing from?
14 to 17.
So, am I reading the
Sanskrit as well,
Sanskrit
please.
also, Mataji. Please read the Sanskrit also. 1 second, Mataji. Let me just give me a second. I'll be there. So, Canto 3, chapter. I've been 10 still then. Chapter 10.
Yes. 3, 10, 14 to 17.
Mataji, then. What should I say? All right. So, let's go. I'll go with the flow. Let's go. Krishna, please help. Please help. We'll say Om. Can somebody start the praise? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today Krishna is really testing me, but with all your devotees' help, I think we will go through it. It's all right. So where did we go to? 14, right? So
Yes,
yes,
Mataji, 14.
who wants? Should I do the Sanskrit then?
Jay Mataji was going to read.
Okay.
Please, Mataji. Please do the Sanskrit and that one, please.
Okay, I'll do it. Thank you, Mataji. Sargo navavidhastasya prakrito vaikratash tuyaha kala dravya guner asya trividha pratisankramaha. There are 9 different kinds of creations besides the one which naturally occurs due to the interactions of the modes. There are 3 kinds of annihilations due to eternal time, the material elements and the quality of one's work. Am I reading the purport as well?
Yes, Mataji.
Oh, sorry. The scheduled creations and annihilations take place in terms of the supreme will. There are other creations due to interactions of material elements which take place by the intelligence of Brahma. Later, this will be more explicitly explained. At present, only preliminary information is given. The 3 kinds of annihilations are: 1, due to the scheduled time of the annihilation of the entire universe; 2, due to a fire which emanates from the mouth of Ananta; and 3, due to one's qualitative actions and reactions.
Let's read the others also, Mataji, so I'll get a little bit of an idea.
Adhyastu mahatah sargo guna vaishyam atmanah dvityastva aham yatra ahamo yatra dravya gnana kriyodaya. Can you scroll up? Yeah. Of the 9 creations, the first one is the creation of the Mahat Tattva, or the sum total of the material ingredients, wherein the modes interact due to the presence of the Supreme Lord. In the second, the false ego is generated, in which the material ingredients, material knowledge, and material activities arise. Purport. The first emanation from the Supreme Lord for material creation is called the Mahat Tattva. The interaction of the material modes is the cause of false identification, or the sense that a living being is made of material elements. This false ego is the cause of identifying the body and mind with the soul proper. Material resources and the capacity and knowledge to work are all generated in the second term of creation after the Mahat Tattva. Gnana indicates the senses which are sources of knowledge and their controlling deities. Work entails the working organs and their controlling deities. All these are generated in the second creation.
Yes, Mataji, the next one, please.
Yes. Bhuta sargastrityastu tanmatro dravya shaktiman chaturtha indriya sargo yastu gnana kriyatma kaha. The sense perceptions are created in the third creation, and from these the elements are generated. The fourth creation is the creation of knowledge and of working capacity.
Yeah, 17th one, please.
Vaikariko deva sarga panchamo yanmayam manaha shashtu tamashaha sargo yastva abudhi krata prabho. The fifth creation is that of the controlling deities by the interaction of the mode of goodness, of which the mind is the sum total. The sixth creation is the ignorant darkness of the living entity by which the master acts as a fool. The demigods in the higher planets are called devas because they are all devotees of Lord Vishnu. Vishnu Bhakta Smrito Deva Ashuras Tad Viprayayaha. All the devotees of Lord Vishnu's are devas or demigods, whereas all others are asuras. That is the division of the devas and the asuras. Devas are situated in the mode of goodness of material nature, whereas the asuras are situated in the modes of passion or ignorance. The demigods or controlling deities are entrusted with departmental management of all the different functions of the material world. For example, one of our sense organs, the eye, is controlled by light. The light is distributed by the sun rays, and their controlling deity is the sun. Similarly, mind is controlled by the moon. All other senses, both for working and for acquiring knowledge, are controlled by different demigods. The demigods are assistants of the Lord in the management of material affairs. After the creation of the demigods, all entities are covered by the darkness of ignorance. Each and every living being in the material world is conditioned by his mentality of lording it over the resources of material nature. Although a living entity is the master of the material world, he is conditioned by ignorance, by the false impression of being the proprietor of material things. The energy of the Lord, called avidya, is the bewildering factor of the conditioned souls. The material nature is called avidya or ignorance, but to the devotees of the Lord engaged in pure devotional service, this energy becomes vidya or pure knowledge. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. The energy of the Lord transforms from Mahamaya to Yogamaya and appears to pure devotees in her real feature. The material nature therefore appears to function in three phases: as the creative principle of the material world, as ignorance, and as knowledge. As disclosed in the previous verse, in the fourth creation, the power of knowledge is also created. The conditioned souls are not originally fools, but by the influence of the avidya function of material nature, they are made fools, and thus they are unable to utilize knowledge in the proper channel. By the influence of darkness, the conditioned soul forgets his relationship with the Supreme Lord and is overwhelmed by attachment, hatred, pride, ignorance, and false identification, the five kinds of illusion that cause material bondage. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Jai Mataji. So please forgive me, everyone. Today it's going to be a bit of a challenge, but we will see how I will go through. So we are dealing with this chapter called the Divisions of Creations, in which obviously the conversation is going on between Viduraji and Maitri Muni. Obviously, Vidura is asking Maitri Muni to explain the whole, how Brahma, the grandfather of all the, basically he is a great grandfather in a way, how he has created this whole universe, And so over here again, the conversation is going on where Maitri Muni will say how Brahma, how he really, how he gets this immense power of creation, and how by doing so much of penance, he did penance for nearly 100 years, and then he realizes by that penance, then his visibility becomes very much open, and he can understand, he can understand what is his role, why he is here, who is God. All that knowledge comes into him, obviously with the mercy of the Lord. And by knowing that, then he will know, oh God, this big lotus flower where he's sitting in is spread all over the universe, and how he will try to reposition himself in a way, where he doesn't, initially he was all confused, didn't know what was happening. And then after sitting and doing so much of tapasya of 100 years, then some knowledge comes into him, and that is only through Vishnu, of course, from the Lord. And once he realizes, then over here it is also explained that how the brain which Lord Brahma has is as good as the brain of the Lord, so it gives him that much of intelligence how to create the material energy, basically. And also this part of this material energy, which obviously is just only 1/4 of the energy of the whole energy, the other 3/4 is all spiritual energy. So this material energy, how is the spiritual energy and the material energy, how are they divided? They're divided by Kala. So Kala is the time. So time is the one that dictates everything in the material energy. So the Kala doesn't influence in the spiritual energy, because there is nothing called time in the spiritual energy. That much we have to understand. So everything of here is limited. So there's a shelf life for everything in the material energy. Okay. Whereas in the spiritual energy, there is no shelf life. It is eternal. There is no shelf life. That's what is my understanding. Krishna, please help me. So over here, then what happens is how Lord Brahma, how he will because how he gets this immense powers, so how he gets, then how he gets it is only through his devotional service into the Lord. And because of that, then he is able to understand the intricacies of how this world is, to some extent, not everything, because the Lord knows everything. So if I can go to this text 9, where it says the most exalted personality in the universe, because of his causeless devotional service unto the Lord in mature transcendental knowledge. So then he creates this 14 planetary divisions, and all of them were different types of living entities, and then again of here, how Maitreya Muni is trying to explain to Viduraji is that how Vidura is basically asking, can you explain to me about the eternal time, which is another form of the Supreme Lord, So time, Kala is again a form of the Lord, but it is not like a form. It is like it is impersonal. So there is no form as such, like a Vigraha. So there is no Kala as Vigraha, but it is like an impersonal form. But it is that is again Krishna, but nothing else. It is again the material energy of the Krishna. So over here, and what are the symptoms is asking, like what are the symptoms of eternal time? Please describe, So Maitreya Muni will try to say, we're just going back a couple of verses so that it gives a bit of a context of what we are doing. So eternal time is a primeval source of the interactions of the 3 modes of material nature. So remember in the beginning when Mahatattva, when all that is formed, so the Lord's glance and the Lord's glance to the Prakriti and the Kala, then only comes this whole material energy forms. So without Kala, there is no, there is no sense and all. This is just like a lump of material energy again. So the Kala is the one which really activates the material energy. And that is what it creates the life, basically, in a way. So Maitreya Muni is eternal time is the primeval source of the interactions of the 3 modes of material nature. It is unchangeable and limitless, and it works as the instrument of the Supreme Personality of Godhead for his pastimes in the material creation. So without the Kala, without the time, you won't even know. Otherwise there is no beginning, there is no end. So because of the time, as we say, everything has a shelf life. So again, the next verse, it says like how the universe is separated, the spiritual universe and the material universe, how they are separated by Kala. And so this again here Maitreya Muni is trying to tell Vidura is that this whole world which we see now is the same. It has never been like it was there in the past. It is there now. It will also be in the future. So it'll continue the same way. So these pastimes of the Lord continue eternally. And the pastimes of all these creation, material creations, and how people are born, people die, people do this, people do that, people build houses and breaks, and there'll be cyclones, and there'll be all these things, all big things happening. They keep on changing all the time. So they are there, they come, they go. So it's like it is continuous cycle. Basically, it's a continuous cycle. There is no stoppage to it. So even though the stoppage is there, it's also part of the cycle. So basically, this is what Maitreya is trying to say. This thing created by the Lord is as it is now. It was also in the past, and will also continue in the future. And then now we're talking about what are the different types of creations now. What has how the world which we live in, what do they compose of? What is there in this particular world? So there are different types of creations, about 10 creations actually. So the 10th one will be all the demigods and all. So 9 creations, where the 9th one are we, human beings. But before that, he tells how, the first creation. So what is the first creation? It is this big material energy. This is called the Mahatattva. And where you have all the ingredients, where you have all the modes of 3 modes of goodness, goodness, passion, and ignorance, all of them together. So that is the basic thing. That's the first creation. And the second creation will be the false ego. False ego is where you have, again, into this modes, again, you'll have this knowledge, and plus how this activities happen, material activities happen. So that's a second creation. So what they're trying to say, these creations are like how each step, how this world is created, and what are the different steps taken into it to form this world as we are in now. So first it was just like a lump, nothing else, just material energy. Next you add something else into it, and then something else into it, and then something else into it, and then comes the actual product, and the product of what we are living in this, all this 14 worlds, planetary systems, and then we have these 3 lokas and all that, and plus the different all the what your Shvetadeepa, and whatever, this ocean of milk and ocean of yogurt, ocean of honey, and everything. So all those, again, these all are part of the material world, where how different ingredients are put into the cooking pot, and then you form your main dish, and it comes out later. So of the 9 creations, the first one is the Mahatattva, as we're talking. The second one is a false ego, which is basically your knowledge, material knowledge and activities. And then from the senses perceptions, now again, this is all from the Mahatattva, whatever the senses perception, comes the elements, those, you have the elements is like you have how the wind, all the 5 elements, you have earth, water, fire, air, ether, and then from that again secondary elements comes. You have the sound, then you have the smell, you have the electricity. All those elements, how the 14 elements are formed. So part of that, these are all part of the third creation. And then the 4th creation comes is that. So the 4th step would be, let's talk all it as step, when the creation a step is the creation of the knowledge and working capacity. Again, the intelligence comes over there. And the 5th creation is the deities. So the controlling deities are like you have who by the interaction of the mode of goodness is by, like how Krishna gives the power to, the sun is the controlling deity of the light and heat, and then you have the wind, and then you have the moon. So all these they will become the controlling deities in a way. This is what I'm understanding. So please forgive me. Please correct me in the end if I'm going wrong. And then we have the fifth one is a controlling. That will be so that will be by the interaction of the mode of goodness. So it'll all be. So all these deities are in the mode of goodness. And then the 6th step, the 6th creation is again of the ignorant. You have tamas factor comes over there, which by which the master acts as a fool, because there's again in this creation there is not much knowledge over there. So you'll understand why this is happening, because all of us will have all these elements in us. So we have, this is like a spectrum. We have like a mode of goodness and mode of passion and mode of ignorance. So all that comes in part of this. So then all the above are natural creations by the external energy of the Lord. Now hear from me from me about the creations of Brahma. So this is, I mean, it goes on. So let's go on to the each detailed ones. So in the 14th thing, it says that the scheduled creations and annihilations take place in the terms of the supreme will. Obviously, without Krishna's mercy, nothing, not even a single atom moves from here to there. Yeah, not even a single atom. So there are other creations due to interactions of material elements which take place with the intelligence of Brahma. So Brahma only comes later, but whatever Brahma creates is only under the will of the Lord or under the supervision of the Lord. So obviously God gives him the intelligence. God gives Lord Brahma the intelligence to create so and so create this thing. And how Brahma gets the intelligence is by doing his tapasya. So later these will be more explicitly explained. So at present only preliminary information is given. So 3 kinds of annihilations are. So annihilation, they're saying, is when the world is going to be destroyed, how it is going to be destroyed. So talking about destruction before even creation of here. So the first kind is when with the time. So you have a kala at the time the whole universe will. So after his 100 years of Brahma's lifespan, the whole of this whole universe will, material energy, yeah, that will all dissolute. So it'll all go. The second type, second 3, so the 3 types, 3 types where how it will go. 3 kinds of annihilation. The second time is there'll be huge fire coming out from this Ananta or Sankarshana's mouth. You'll have this big fire coming out. It'll destroy the whole of the universe. We're talking about material universe, yeah? And third is by qualitatives, actions and reactions. So this is a bit more philosophical. So where your good actions and bad actions, this is what I'm understanding, or actions and reactions, that causes the destruction of the whole of the universe. So that is the first way, 3 kinds of annihilation they talked about of here. Srila Prabhupada explains. Then again, of the 9 creations, the first one we say is the Mahatattva, or the sum total of the material ingredients. Now, the first emanation from the Supreme Lord for material creation is called the Mahatattva. So we know how the Mahatattva is formed from the I think this is it the Mahatattva is from there's a Mahavishnu will form, like Mahatattva from the abdomen of the Lord, where the material energy gets agitated and then it starts protruding out from the abdomen, and then the lotus forms, and then the stem forms, and then the lotus, and then Brahma comes over there. But how this agitation happens is because of the material energy inside. So that this is, and I have to look back again. So this first creation of this material creation is called the Mahatattva, is a big energy, basically material energy. And then you have, in that we have again the 3 modes of nature, the goodness, passion and ignorance. And then they interact together, but actually the Shuddha goodness is never there. It is always the goodness which is there in the Mahatattva, in the material energy, is always adulterated with the passion and ignorance. So we do not have Shuddha Sattva Guna. Yes, well, absolutely. Glance of Vishnu through Prakriti, that's the right thing, Mataji. That's how it starts off with the Kala and with Kala. Thank you so much. With Kala. So, but over here, the goodness, Shuddha goodness, or Shuddha Sattva is always then the spiritual energy. That part of the universe is Shuddha Sattva. Whereas in the material energy, whatever goodness we have is not pure goodness. It's not Shuddha Sattva. There's always some adulteration of mode of passion and mode of ignorance. So even though this is for us, conditioned souls, this is good for us, but it is not transcendental goodness as in the spiritual world. So there's a big difference between this Shuddha Sattva and this Sattva in the material world. So now the interaction of the material modes is the cause of false identification. or the sense that a living being is made of material elements. So now false identification comes when they're trying to say when these material modes. So that whenever there's anything materialistic, that's itself only is becoming false in a way, because we are not materialistic. In a way, we are part and parcels of the Lord, but then we are living in this. We are marginal energies. So we have spiritual energy, the external energy, internal energy, and the marginal energy. So jivas, we are living beings. We are supposed to be as marginal energies, or the jiva we are. So the interaction of the material modes is cause of the false identification, or the sense that a living being is made of material elements. So this false ego is the cause of identifying the body and the mind with the soul proper. So material resources and the capacity and knowledge to work are all generated in the second term of creation after the Mahatattva. Okay, so over here, again, the false ego is the second creation is the false ego, they say. So from what my understanding is that anything material is limited, or anything material is more bondage, and the more bondage comes is because we have this big false ego, which is again materialistic again. So because of this false ego, we are attached more to the materialistic things. So it is all like a big pickle over here, basically. It's like an achar only. I can understand what I can really, because we are so much into this materialistic things, that one is interlinked with each other, So the material resources and the capacity and knowledge to work are all generated in the second term of creation after the Mahatattva. So the Mahatattva is just a blob of, you can think like energy, but how to qualify and quantify that energy is done by the knowledge and the intelligence and the activities and all other things come into play, and then that will give you a little bit of movement over there. And in that movement, you will have again with this you will have all the elements, because the sense perception is created, and then you have all the elements are formed, and once the elements are formed, then you have again with the elements super elements, like you have the combination and permutation combination, you will have different types of elements are formed, and then the jivas will come, like then you'll have the animals, the trees, the plant, the human beings and birds, and all that will start forming. So gnana indicates the senses which are source of knowledge and the controlling deity. So gnana is obviously intelligence that will indicate indicates the senses, which are source of knowledge. Work entails the working organs and the controlling deity. So all these generate the second creation. So basically, it is trying to say that with the intelligence, the senses are. It indicates the intelligence. Gnana indicates the senses, which are sources of knowledge. So the senses are the ones which, in a way. So how does it say the senses are the source of knowledge? Is like, in a way, it is a memory. Like if you touch, so by touch is a sensation, right? And by seeing, vision, that's another sensation. Smelling is another sensation. Hearing is another sensation. And your speech is another sensation. So all these are, again, there's a different, that's also a form of a knowledge, because how that is assimilated in the brain is also, you have to understand. If you don't perceive, then the mind will not be able to assimilate the thing. So like we have, as human beings, we are much higher above. So obviously we can touch that. Suppose we can touch an external thing, and then we can try to change that sensation into a feeling, or whatever, a sensation, and then we have the process of, so this sensation is transmitted through whatever the special nerves, and it goes to the brain, and that assimilates, and then it comes out as speech if you want to express. Or it can also goes back as, no, don't have to express, it can go back as a reverse touch to say that okay, to return back. That's the reaction you can get from the action. The same, but that's only because of through knowledge. That's a part of knowledge. So the senses are, in a way, part of knowledge. The same way, like the animals, they do not have this thing of expressing with the speech as well. How that's the only thing which differentiates us from the other species, But the other species will also react because that's also their knowledge of. Like an animal, if you can, it will react to the way how by the touch or by the vibration or with the sound or by sight. So how they also can react. But for them also, that is their knowledge of that particular information what they get, So senses are, in a way, they are sources of knowledge. So, and plus they're controlling deities. Now we say all the senses will have different deities who control this particular knowledge. And the work entails the working organs and the controlling deities. Again, what sort of a work? How should I tell in detail is a bit difficult for me to, because I haven't prepared. So normally everything what we do, every organ has a controlling deity, like, and whatever the organ works, that is under that particular master. It will tell us what to do, what not to do. So for example, in your body itself, if you can take, like, the heart is an organ, the lungs are organs, then you have the kidneys and you have the gut and all that, but they have their own little work to do. They do their own little work, but then there's a controlling element. So anything what we do has a controlling deity. So these are all created by the second. This is the second step in the creation. Oh dear, so again, my internet is gone off now. Okay, so let me just go back. Yeah, so the verse number 16, and the sense perceptions are created in the third creation, and from these the elements are generated. So how, again, we were talking about the elements. You have the earth, sun. Again, we heard this in the previous canto, I think. We learned how the sound, from the sound comes. Oh my God. You have the 16 elements, how there are different steps over there for 16 elements, which is generated, how water comes out, and from the water comes taste, and from the sound comes this thing, from something from electricity, and all these 16 elements are created. So I cannot tell you in detail, but I think maybe another time I have to say. So that is, again, that's the third creation, where you have these 16 elements coming out from them. And then the fourth creation will be knowledge and working. Again, knowledge is there all the time, and the working capacity from that knowledge. So the 17th verse would be like, the fifth one is out of the controlling deities by the interaction of mode of goodness, of which the mind is the sum total, and the sixth creation is the ignorant darkness of the living entity by which the master acts as a fool. So again, the fifth element and the sixth element is again for the mode of goodness and mode of ignorance, the controlling deities for that. So the demigods in the higher planets are called devas because they are all devotees of Lord Vishnu. So Vishnu Bhakta Smrito Daiva Asurastad Viparyaha. All the devotees of Lord Vishnu are devas or demigods, whereas all others are asuras. So we are also asuras in a way, because we do not have the Shuddha Sattva in a way. Yeah. So this is the division of devas and the asuras. So the devas are situated in the mode of goodness of material nature, whereas the asuras are situated in the mode of passion or ignorance. There you see. So we are full of passion and we are full of ignorance. So we fall into that element of asuras. But we're not like demons, but we're talking about how the concept of goodness and ignorance and passion, where do they fall, So the demigods or controlling deities are entrusted with departmental management of all different functions of the material world. For example, one of our sense organ, the eye, is controlled by light, and light is distributed by the sun rays, and the controlling deity is the sun. Similarly, the mind is controlled by the moon. All other senses, both for working and for acquiring knowledge, are all controlled by different demigods. So the demigods are assistants of the Lord in the management of material. So all of us know like how God has been All God has given, He's delegated all His material. And so He's basically, we're not talking about spiritual world, but for the material world, what has happened is God has given everybody a department. Okay, now you, sun, you look after this department, moon, you look after this department, or the Venus or Shukra, or you have the 9 planets, right? That all the 9 planets and Indra and different, all the demigods. There, you have the Ashwini Kumaras, and you have Vayu, and you have Varuna, and all these names are given to different energies, basically they are. And they are told, okay, you look after this. So through that, why every time they keep on saying like this knowledge and the working knowledge, they say, the same thing we were talking about. So through these senses, again, you have, you learn the memory, and then from that you start trying to understand what it is, and then understand the actually the memory and work through it, and then try to try to perform the work, perform the act, basically, in a way. So over here, when we look at so the demigods and the controlling, so the Supreme Personality of Godhead, basically he delegates his work for the to control to look after the material universe to all these demigods, and they are supposed to report back to him as to what is happening. So that after the creation of the demigods, then all entities are covered by darkness of ignorance. So first thing is, so the demigods are created, and after that, other entities, they are fully ignorant. They don't know anything at all. So each and every living being in this material world is conditioned by his mentality of lording it over the resources of material nature. Although a living entity is the master of the material world, he is conditioned by ignorance, by the false impression of being the proprietor. So all of us know, say, how ignorant we are here. What Srila Prabhupada is trying to say, that first of all, we think that as a human nature, anyway a person goes, even an animal, anywhere they go, they first try to see like, okay, I'll just do what is my fencing first. They will try to lord it. They try to say, okay, this part of the space where I'm living is mine. Even when you go to work, also office, the first thing you see is, okay, which is my space, which is my personal space. This is what all of us do. So all the conditioned people will do that. First, they will make their own territory. Even the lion will just go, and what it does, it urinates in every trees, to say that nobody else can come into this territory. The same thing the dogs and animals, they do. The same thing human beings do, the same thing. All of us, we put a fence first. We have fights because somebody crosses another fence, then they start fighting. Why are we doing this? Because we think we are the owner of this particular land, a particular piece of whatever element. They always my, me, mine comes on all the time. But we forget that we are not, we are just servants, and somebody else is the Lord. So the problem comes when you're lording it. So Srila Prabhupada writes this word as lording. This is the first time I've heard this word, but in Srimad Bhagavatam, I've heard this as lording. So because we're doing that, we always fall into trouble. And that is why we do that, because we are fully ignorant. We are fools, So that is why we are conditioned by ignorance. So the most, in this material world, the most biggest mode is ignorant mode. And then comes passion, and very little, I think very little is Shuddha, or goodness. Because you will see only the very passionate or very hardworking people, you see, they're only very few. Yeah. And whereas the ignorant people are out of, if you take like 100 out of the 100%, maybe 0.1 or 1% you might get goodness, and then maybe about 10% or something. This is my calculation. Don't take it this thing, but maybe 10% or something will be those passionate people, and the 90% of them are ignorant. I mean, example I was telling you in the army also, what it was like. When you see any big institutions, you will see there will be only 10% of people who will be really working hard to keep the system going. And the rest ones are very casual. Everywhere, it is just going because they have the system put in place, so it just works on. This is how even our world also keeps on working in this way. I mean, the equation is the same everywhere, wherever you go. So the energy of the Lord, yes, Mataji, another 5 minutes. I'll just wait off. The energy of the Lord is called, so the energy of the Lord is called avidya, and that is what we are, because we're conditioned, we do not have any knowledge. But then the material nature of this avidya, ignorance, becomes vidya when we start doing service to the Lord. When we start with pure devotional service, then that A goes off, A goes off and becomes vidya. So we become pure knowledge. This is obviously confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. And then what happens then? The Lord, the Mahamaya, which is the material energy of the Lord, that starts transforming into Yogamaya. And Yogamaya will always help us to realize our own position. So the material nature therefore appears to function in three phases: as the creative principles of the material world, as ignorance, and as knowledge. So creative principle is what? It's like basically, I think the mode of passion, I'm thinking. And ignorance and the knowledge, I would say the knowledge, if you have, is goodness. So as disclosed in the previous verse, in the fourth creation of the power of knowledge is also created. So the conditioned souls are not originally fools, but by the influence of avidya, function of the material nature, they are made fools, and thus they are unable to utilize knowledge in the proper channel. So because of the influence of ignorance, we become fools. Otherwise, we should be a bit more better than that. So by the influence of avidya, the conditioned soul will forget his relationship with the Supreme Lord. And as then what happens is he'll forget that, oh, I'm not supposed to live here. I'm supposed to be part and parcel. I'm supposed to be in the spiritual world, go and serve my master. But as I said, he puts his own fence, and he starts becoming so attached to this material world. And then from that, because, oh, this is mine, now I want to improve my fence now, make it a bit more bigger and make my property big. I'll have 10 houses, whatever, 10 cars, whatever, this much of gold, this much. We become so attached to material things that we forget. And then what are those 5 vices? First thing is attachment, hatred. If you hate someone, then obviously you have more revenge. And if you have pride, imagine, with the pride, to fill up the pride, you'll do more and more wrong things. And if you're a fool, you won't even realize what is right and wrong. And then obviously a false ego, false identification. The false identification is that you are the king over here, or you're the queen over here in this Lord. Forgetting that the Lord is somewhere else. He's the major king. He's a big king. And you're the servant. But you forget and you think you are the king. That's false identification. So all these will cause us to be attached to this material energy or to this material universe more and more, and we can't get away. So please forgive me, my dear devotees. Please forgive me for all the mistakes I've committed. And I know we're running short. I think they have a bhajan now. And after the bhajan is over, the thing is open. You can please comment and correct me. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Please, sorry if I've just overrun. Hare Krishna. And
Hare Krishna, Mataji. My Dharma Pranam. Oh, glory to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji. Beautifully explained, even though you were on spot, Mataji. Beautifully explained. Hari Bol. Oh,
Krishna,
oh,
Mataji.
glory
Thank you so much. I
Prabhupada.
hope I was able to. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Very nice, Mataji. Very nice. So, Mataji, for today's bhajan, you have me singing Bhaja Gauranga Kaho Gauranga. But before I sing the beautiful bhajan, do we have Shavin online so he can do the English translation, please? No?
Hello?
Shavin, can you hear us? Okay. Do we have a volunteer who could read the bhajan in English, please, then?
I don't mind. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please go ahead, Mataji. You can see the bhajan, Mataji?
Yes, you translate and refrain worship. Right. So is bhajan Gauranga, Kaha Gauranga? And the translation refrain. Worship Lord Gauranga, chant Gauranga, speak about Lord Gauranga only. Those who worships Lord Gauranga is indeed my life and soul. Chanting Gauranga, go out with your arms raised, dancing and dancing. By chanting Gauranga and worshipping him, one's miseries will end. Is that it? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you. Beautifully read. Hari Bol. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Jyoti Mataji. Hare Krishna. Bhaja Gauranga, Kaha Gaurango, Laha Gaurangero Namare. Bhaja Gauranga, Kaha Gaurango, Laha Gaurangero Namare. जे जना गौरंग भजे से होए अमर प्राण रे जे जना गौरंग भजे से होए अमर प्राण रे भज गौरांगो कहा गौरांगो लाहा गौरंगेरो नाम रे गौरंग बोलियो दुबो ही तुलिया नाचिया नाचिया बेडावरे गौरंग बोलियो दुबो ही तुलियो नाचिया नाचिया बेडावरे भज गौरांगो कहा गौरांगो लाहा गौरंगेरो नाम रे गौरंग भजिले गौरंग जपिले होय दुख गिरा पसान रे गौरंग भजिले तू गौरंग जपिले होय दुख हेरा अवसान रे भज गौरंग कहा गौरंगो लाहा गौरंगेरो नाम रे भज गौरंगो कहा गौरंगो लाहा गौरंगेरो नाम रे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे भज गौरंगो कहा गौरंगो लाहा गौरंगेरो नाम रे Hari Bol. Thank you for the opportunity. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, very beautifully sung, Mataji, absolutely wonderful. And Vanita Mataji, thank you so much for just coming and just filling up the gap. Absolutely nice recitation. Thank you so much. Absolutely wonderful. It's a very beautiful song, this is,
It's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Very nicely sung. Thank you.
Yes.
So sweet.
So, my apologies for the class today. It's a bit...
Mamta Mataji, you were brilliant as well. Honestly, how you did it is beyond me, but you did it so well. I could understand it more, actually.
Oh God, I don't know. I don't know. Please, I'm just thinking like there's so much in this creation, but I wish I could have prepared it a bit, and I've been a different thing, but thank you so much. But y'all can please fill in. There's still time. Should we sing another song? Also, there's time for another song. If anybody wants to sing.
You sing it, Mataji.
Oh my God, what song should I sing? I have my favorite song anyway. If you want, I can sing that song. Gauranga Karuna Karo.
Yeah, please, go on.
Sure, Mataji. Hari Bol.
Should we go for that? Huh? Okay. Oh, yeah, that's one of the... Or I can sing even Jagannath's also, anything.
Oh, your favorite, yeah.
Huh? Did you hear this one? This one, Gauranga Karunakaru before me, I think, many times, isn't it?
Now you pick your favorite. Go on.
I do Gauranga Karnakar, it's all right. I said, because there's not enough. There's still 10 minutes time, actually. Let me see. Maybe I might just do, I feel like doing this song, which is, you'll know Chaurashtakam, right? You can put the Chaurashtakam if you want, Mataji. You know Chaurashtakam? Can you put it? No? For other people, you all can sing behind the muted mics if you want.
Okay, go on.
Okay, it is Bilva Mangala Thakura, and this is in Sanskrit, and Chaurashtakam. It is obviously Krishna, the way how he steals everybody's hearts, That's how it is trying to explain. So, Vraje Prasiddham Navanita Chauram Gopangananam Chadukula Chauram Aneka Janmarjita Papa Chauram Chauragraganyam Purusham Namami Sri Radhikaya Hridayasya Chauram Navambuddha Shyamala Kanti Chauram Padashritanam cha samasta chauram Chauram graganyam purusham namami Akinchani kritya padashritam ya Karoti bhikshum patigehahinam Kenapyaho bhishana chauraye दृष्टाश्रितो वा न जगत्त्रयेऽपि यदीयनामापि हरत्यशेषम् गिरिप्रसारानपि पापराशन् आश्चर्यरूपो ननु चौरयेदृक् दृष्टाश्रितो वा न मया कदापि धनं च मानं च तथेन्द्रियाणि प्राणंश्च हृत्वा मम सर्वमेव पलायसे कुत्र धृतोऽत्यचार त्वं भक्तिदाम्नासि मया निरुद्ध छिन्नस्ति घोरं यमपाश बन्धम् भिन्नस्ति भीमं भव पाशबन्धम् छिन्नस्ति सर्वस्य समस्तबन्धम् नैवात्मनो भक्तकृतं तु बन्धम् मन्मानसे तामसराशि घोरे कराग्रे दुःखमये निबद्धः लभस्व हे चौर हरे चिराय स्वचौर्य दोषोचितं मेव दण्डम् कराग्रे वस सदा हृदये मदीये मद्भक्ति पाशदृढा बन्धना निश्चलासन् त्वां कृष्णा हे प्रलयाकोटिशतान्तरेऽपि सर्वस्व चौरा हृदयान्नहि मोचयामि हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय श्री कृष्ण. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hari Bol, Mataji.
Hari Bol.
So
Thank you,
nicely
Mataji.
sung.
Please,
Thank you.
Please, if one of you can just read that, we still have another 5 minutes time.
Okay, can I read, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
But I think the words need to be reduced a bit because some words have been cut off on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I think Mataji can move, maybe. He can move the thing.
Okay, so they're a bit small, the words. Let me try. I offer my respectful obeisances to the foremost of thieves, who is famous in Vraja as the butter thief, and he who steals the gopis' clothes, and who, for those who take shelter of him, steals the sins which have accrued over many lifetimes. I offer my respectful obeisances to the foremost of thieves, who steals Srimati Radhika's heart, who steals the dark luster of a fresh rain cloud, and who steals all the sins and sufferings of those who take shelter of his feet. He turns his surrendered devotees into paupers, and wandering, homeless beggar, alas, such a fearsome thief has never been seen or heard of in all the 3 worlds. Mere utterance of his name one of a mountain of sins, such as astonishingly wonderful thief I have never seen or heard of anywhere. O thief, having stolen my wealth, my honor, my senses, my life, and my everything, where can you run to? I have caught you with the rope of my devotion. You cut the terrible noose of Yamaraj. You sever the dreadful noose of material existence, and you slash everyone's material bondage, but you are unable to cut the knot fastened by your own loving devotees. O stealer of my everything, O thief, today I have imprisoned you in the miserable prison house of my heart, which is very fearful, due to the terrible darkness of my ignorance, and there for a very long time you will remain, receiving appropriate punishment for your crimes of thievery. O Krishna, thief of my everything, the noose of my devotion remaining forever tight, you will continue to reside in the prison house of my heart, because I will not release you for millions of eons. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
This is such a beautiful Ashtaka, Mataji. It is absolutely nice.
Yes, it is. It is.
Mangala Thakura, it is absolutely very heart-touching, especially the last 2 verses,
Yes.
Very heart-touching, actually.
Yes, nice bhajan
and then beautiful song by Namrata Mataji. Bhaja Gaurango, Kaho Gaurang. It was so beautifully sung.
And you explained the class so well, Mataji, despite
Mataji,
putting you on the spot today. I'm so sorry about the mistake.
No, don't worry. It's Mataji, Krishna's wish. But thank you so much for everyone for listening to even without any preparation. Also, all of you are listened to. I was repeating, but sometimes it comes for that way. But thank you so much, everyone. Any corrections or anything you want to add, you can add. There's still time. 1 more minute. And it's obviously a very topic is a bit dry because of the creation, isn't it? And the next one is more. I was reading about the atom and everything. The first 6 verses that Mataji gave, that is even more dry than what we have today. I think like, oh my God, how am I going to explain that? And I was trying to take out of all this Parmanu and everything. Luckily, you gave this one. So it's all right, Mataji. Thank you so much. Krishna's will. Thank you all for actually listening. And actually inviting me. I'm very, very honored to be among all of the highly devotees like you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So should we start? I don't know, Mataji. Anybody wants to say anything? Something? Do you want to say a Vancha Kalpata prayers then?
Yes, we can, Mataji. If there are no comments or questions, we can wind up the session now. Let's all recite this beautiful prayer. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो
नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय. Glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for beautiful class and beautiful bhajans. Hare Bol.
Thank you. Hare
Srimad
Krishna.
Bhagavatam
Hare
ki
Krishna, Mataji.
jai.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.